Hey everybody, come on in. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. I got about 1 hour, excuse me, to discuss season 2 of Surviving R. Kelly, episode 1. So come on in, please, and thank you very much. Please share out the live. Please make sure you like the video. If you are not already subscribed to the Hood Table, please subscribe to the Hood Table channel, and also make sure you don't forget to hit that notification bell. And again, we got about 1 hour to discuss season 2, episode 1 of Surviving R. Kelly. So, with that being said, like, share, and subscribe. And I did do a live on my other channel, Tanya's Primetime TV, to let everybody know to come over to the Hood channel, the Hood Table, y'all.
You don't need Netflix. YouTube, welcome to the Hood Table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little, expose current events, talk trash a little.
Like
you never know, these opinions might clash a little. Be addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want to invite a bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn you back until you sorry try again. Yeah, welcome to the Hood Table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the
Hey,
Hood
Miss
Table.
Hall. Hey,
You
boo.
don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
How you doing, sugar? Hey, welcome. Hey, Miss Hall, how you doing? I love seeing you in my chat. Thank you. My niece, she did those lyrics. She spit them lyrics for us for the Hood Table intro. So, I want to thank her in every live and every video that we use her intro. I always make sure to put her name and her contact information in the description box, because she is an up-and-coming rapper, singer, songwriter from the Midwest, from the mid to the west. But anyway, y'all come on in, hit the like button, share the live out, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hey, Maurice, what's going on? You said you're at work, but I'm going to hang around for a few. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for joining us on the live. I'm doing this live right now. Then I have another live that I have to do later tonight. I'm trying to do like 2 lives a day so I can get caught up. Whew, Lord child. Hey, Robbie. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? But tonight, I'm going to do a review on the Have and the Have Not season 7. Was it season 7? I think it's season 7. But anyway, the new episode started a few days ago. So the new season started. So I'm going to do episode 1 of that tonight. But right now, let's get into this R. Kelly. We only don't jump ahead, y'all. Please don't jump ahead, because some people have not watched season 2 yet of Surviving R. Kelly. So we're only going to discuss things that we found out in episode 1 of Surviving R. Kelly season 2. And it's called The Reckoning, and the first episode is titled It Hasn't Stopped. Y'all let me know, for those of y'all who have seen episode 1, what did y'all take from episode 1 that made you think why they titled the first episode It Hasn't Stopped? Because R. Kelly is locked up. So we know that he's not out there abusing anybody outside of those bars. Catch that. But anyway, we do know that. What I think they meant from It Hasn't Stopped by the title is the threats. Because a lot of people are continually being threatened by people from R. Kelly, from people in his camp, allegedly. Geronda, she's being threatened. And y'all know I did commentary on Geronda Pace when she first came out a couple of years ago. I did a documentary on her. If y'all want to check that out, it's on my other channel, Tanya's Primetime TV Media Reviews. I did a story on Geronda Pace. But as far as the threats and everything, a lot of the family members are still being threatened. Even people from Lifetime, the production company, they're receiving threats. The writers, the producers, Lizette Martinez, Asante McGree, Faith Rogers, Andrea. I didn't hear her say anything about any threats. But we don't know. But and then Geronda Pace. Um, One thing I found really interesting. And again, y'all let me know how y'all feel about the part one and about anything that happened, about anything the people said in here. You said you couldn't watch any more R. Kelly abuse, didn't watch. Oh, well, it's gonna be a whole nother season. It's supposed to be 3 seasons altogether. This is season 2, and it's only 5 episodes. It was more episodes last season, but I don't know how many the next season I have. But this season was 5 episodes. Um, but one thing I found really interesting was in this particular season, in episode 1, his brothers seemed to really try to give R. Kelly an excuse to have done everything he's done over these past like almost 30 years. They seem to have given him excuse. They was always like, this happened when we was little. This person did this to him. Our family member did this to him. Our mother, she did this, but she didn't do that. And at the time when he was younger, they claim, while Carrie and Bruce was claiming that they didn't like what was going on to them by their family member, who they still are not willing to say in this documentary. They said it before. Who exactly was abusing them in their households, and we all know it's their sis. We all know that, but they're refusing to say the name on this particular Lifetime documentary. It's like they're trying to give Kels an excuse on why he did what he did, but they're still keeping stuff swept under the rug. Like their sis, they still don't want to say her name. They don't want to put her out on Front Street. They don't want to shame the family any further. I mean, it's like, okay, somebody else in your family abused you. You're not going to do anything about it at all, because you want to save face for the person who did it to you. But hey Donna, how you doing? You said you keep hearing about it when it comes on, and okay, it's already, all the episodes have already played. So if you go to Lifetime Network, whether you got cable or on the internet, you can go to on demand and you can watch all 5 of the new episodes from season 2. So they already aired. So you can I watched them one at a time, but as usual with documentaries that are in episodes, I usually go step by step on each documentary. Just like When They See Us with the little boys, from New York, their story. I did each episode, commentary on each one by one. So yeah, but yeah, you have to check it out. I'm just reviewing part 1, so it's still 4 parts in season 2 that you can get caught up on. And then every day I'm going to do a review on part 2, 3, 4, 5. So I should be done with the whole season 2 by Sunday, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, something like that. And of course, I'll put the notification out there so you guys can know what time I'm going live to do the next episodes. But yeah, as far as this one, we know that most people who are abused as a child, most of the time they grow up, and most of the time they are protectors. Like, I'm part of the Me Too movement. I done said that before. So when I had my sons, I was like really, really aggressively overprotective, and they didn't like it at all. They didn't like it one bit. they wasn't like sheltered per se. They still got to go to friends' house, and they got to go places with their coaches, and they got to go places with their friends and their friends' parents, and a few cousins' house, a few of their cousins' homes, and a few of their friends' homes. I didn't let them go everywhere, but I was really aggressive. Like, you call me, I'm calling you, I'm checking in. You here, you there. With the coaches, I'm like on it, like white on rice. And everybody knew that about me. Now, to this day, my boys said nothing ever happened to them. I used to ask them frequently, tell them, warn them, this is the signs, look for this, look for that. This is what they're going to do. This is what grown-ups do. They, they buy you things. They treat you extra special nice. They groom you. They do this. I did all that with my sons. If something ever did happen and they didn't tell me, I couldn't give you any reason why, because I was always that parent. Like, if something happened, you can come to me. You can come to me. But anyway, in this particular situation with Kels, when they said his mama paid, basically, I don't know if you want to say sold herself to the devil. Sold her soul to the devil. I don't know if that's what you would want to call it. I don't know. Like, the brothers, they say, Kels, in one of his interviews, he said, he thinks it was a family curse. Because not only him, not only his brothers, but other people in their family had been abused inside of the family. And a lot of things just kept getting swept under the rugs, like it tends to do in the African American community. And it happened with them as well. When the guy Henry, the play uncle to all, you gotta watch out for the play uncles in the family and in the neighborhood, and the real uncles. Shoot, the real uncles and the real grandpas and the real cousins. You gotta watch out for everybody in your family and everybody who you allow around your children. Which brings me to this point. Next week I'm gonna do a story on something that's going on locally. With somebody who's in jail right now for abusing somebody's children. And we're going to discuss this thing with us, especially single parents, having all these different guys around our kids. And sometimes we don't really know these guys, and we invite them over our house, and I didn't play that. I did not play that when my sons was when they were growing up. Even now, they overprotective. Like, who that? Who coming over? Who coming to see you? I've been so overprotective with them. Now they so overprotective with me. Like, who you talking to? Who you on the phone with? I'm like, excuse me, but I'm the mama. I'm the mama. Hey, the real Brooklyn. What's up? How you doing? But yeah. And so when the guy Henry had, it was like, okay, everybody wanted this man to go down. Everybody, the brothers, the cops, the neighbors, they whooped them, they beat them. When the cops came, the cops turned their head. Before they arrested him and took him downtown, they turned their head and let them continue to beat him and monkey stomp him in the street. And then he went to jail. But then he offered $5,000, and mind you, this was back in the day, back in the 70s, the early 80s, when $5,000 was like $1 million to people in the hood, to people struggling. And he offered her $5,000 to not come to court, and she took it. So a lot of the times, I'm not going to say these are family curses. Like, I really hate to use that word, because there be times when things could turn and, do a 360 if somebody would just say something or do something. And I am not going to be like the brothers and be like, oh, okay, well, R. Kelly, he wouldn't be like this if this didn't happen, if that didn't happen. The main person who's supposed to protect the children are the grown-ups, the adults, the parents. And for his mother, and I know she's in heaven, so I ain't trying to, drag her or nothing like that. But the parents have to protect the kids. And by taking money, it's like you sold yourself to the devil. You just sold your child. You sold your child. Even though he probably never touched Kels again, probably never came at any of the kids in that household again, you basically sold your child. You was like, okay, you did this to my son for this amount of time, and I'm not going to show up in court so they can make sure the charges stick. I'm going to stay home, or I'm going to go to work, and we're going to spend this money, and we're going to pay bills and act like nothing ever happened. That's what happens a lot in our families, and is not necessarily money involved. It might be a few times where gifts are involved or money are involved, something like that. But usually it's just, let's sweep it under the rug because I don't want our family to be shamed. I don't want nobody to know that my kids was abused and where was I and why you didn't do nothing. And you let your kids down. So they said they don't hate their mother for that, and they're not going to judge their mother for what she did. But that was one of the things that made Kels probably think it was okay for older people to mess with younger people, younger kids. And then on top of that, with their sis and her messing with them and nothing ever being done with that, and Kels being abused for like 6-7 years to the age of 14. By the time he age of 14, they said he was like used to it happening, and he started enjoying it and everything. And so when he became writing and singing and all that kind of stuff, and when he finally got up to the CD12 play, and he was talking to his brother and explaining to his brother, that person on that poster right there, referring to himself on the 12 play poster, which was one of my all-time favorite albums by him. But anyway, he was telling him, that person right there, that person is, he's strong, he's powerful, he can do anything. That person right there, and he was talking and referring to himself like he was another different entity altogether from R. Kelly. Like R. Kelly and Robert Kelly is two totally different persons. Like he was a split person, having can't talk, split personality. And I kind of think that part might have been true. That part might have been true, especially with all the testimony and the allegations, and from what the witnesses, the victims turned survivors, have to say about him. How even his ex-wife Andrea Kelly, who I still think to this day is not telling us everything we need to know. Not even close. I don't think she's telling us anything close because she don't want to incriminate herself. And I still believe that from the time I first started discussing R. Kelly 2 years ago, or whenever it just blew up in his face. But I still think she's not telling us as much as we need to know. But that's neither here nor there right now for what I'm discussing. But yeah, it was like he got split personalities, and the victims, the survivors, they was always saying how Robert is like this nice person, this respectful person, this da-da-da-da. And then they would say like R. Kelly is this person and that person, and he's this and that. I mean, it was like really like he had two different personalities. Like really. So the brothers, they seem like they are they love him. They admitted him. They still love him no matter what he did, no matter all the people that lives he might have ruined. They still love him. They still support him. But they seriously are. They seriously sound like they are trying to defend his actions. A lot of this wasn't. A lot of the things they spoke about wasn't spoke about in season 1. So I don't know if it's because more tapes came out, more charges came out, and now they're up there. Well, he did this because of this. If our mom wouldn't have done this, and if this wouldn't have happened, and this happened, and then they talk about their mom has to be turning over in her grave. I'm like, really? Your mom is turning over in her grave? Why? Because she was part of that back in the day that could have probably changed his whole entire life around. I mean, but I think he was saying that she was turning over in her grave because of all the things that she see going on with R. Kelly. But again, she paid a sacrifice. She sacrificed him when she accepted that $5,000 a long time ago, to keep that man, Uncle Henry. Man, I swear to God, like, what was that, a week ago? Me and Carmel Diva was on here talking about the uncles, how everybody got them uncles in their family, them uncles who you got to keep your eye on. Now, not all friends of the family, are bad, but them uncles, calling people uncles, making kids believe that this is my relative, this is my family member, this somebody I can trust, this somebody I shouldn't be afraid to be around. Sometimes we get these outside family members family titles that they don't deserve. That ain't no Uncle Tim. That's my homeboy. That's my friend from work. That's you. Sometimes we can't be just giving family members these titles, making these kids when they're younger think, oh, this is my uncle. I can treat him the same way I treat my other uncle. And, if he does this, that's uncle. He knows what's best for me. You know what I mean? I hope somebody get where I'm going with that. But anywho, so in this episode, it was just crazy how a lot of the people still, and not just in the African American community, but a lot of people even outside of African American community is like still dragging the victims. Oh, why y'all come out so late? Why y'all, chose this particular time? Why? And a lot of people in the African American community, from the time when he was first arrested a few years ago to now, still are trying to protect him. They still trying to protect him. They still think that this is a smear tactic, a smear campaign, just to bring a black brother down, just to bring a rich black. Well, he ain't rich no more. But probably some years ago, he had some money on him that has basically dwindled down over the years, though, because of him paying out all these, paying out people, bribing people to not come forward. But anywho, a lot of people still think they just trying to bring a brother down, just trying to bring another brother down. So yeah, they still asking the ladies, the survivors, why did you go? Why did you stay? Asking some of the parents, why did your parents have you in this situation? Why couldn't they see that something was wrong? We keep victimizing these victims, and that's the worst thing about being a victim, is being re-victimized by the society, by your peer, by your friends, by the media. And just because a lot of people is like, why you wait so long? That's like the big question. Why you wait so long? And nobody can really answer that question properly for each individual. They can't. I know a lot of people who have been victims at a young age by family members, friends of the family, people outside the family. And when you ask them, have you ever told? They're like, some of them, yeah, nothing happened. Some of them, yeah, they ended up going to jail. Some of them, yeah, nothing happened. It's more or less, some people do speak up and they're not believed. They're not believed. And so when you see this happening a lot, and then the people in the media is dragging the victims, I don't understand why a lot of people just do not get it, why people do not speak up immediately, especially when we talking about big kahuna, we talking about R. Kelly, we talking about Weinstein, we talking about, big stars, Bill Cosby, people who, like, okay, for instance, I can't speak on Weinstein and Bill Cosby, and if they ever had anybody in their camp threaten people, I can't say. It ain't been brought out. As far as I know, if it has, please let me know in the chat. But as far as kills go, people are still being threatened. The Lifetime movie network is being threatened. How you threaten a whole network? Like a whole network? The producers, the writers, Of course, the families and the children, the victims and their parents, they're being threatened. People are still putting stuff on the internet, on social media, trying to drag them, pictures, videos. When we was doing hashtag Me Too, they doing hashtags in support of R. Kelly. Like, okay, and then the craziest part of the show for me, and I got about another 30 minutes to wrap this up, so I'm trying to get this done as fast as I can because I got somewhere I got to be. But the craziest part of this particular episode 1 for me was the white blonde haired lady who looked like she was pregnant, but I don't know, she could be a little overweight like me. So, I ain't trying to talk about her weight or nothing, but she did look pregnant. She looked, the way she was sitting there, like she was holding her stomach, like she was pregnant. That white lady, the blonde lady, her name is Lindsay Perryman Dunn. She claims she worked for R. Kelly from the years of 99 to 2007. So that's like, 8 years. She claims she started off as a studio manager, personal assistant to general manager. And I'm not going to, man, I'm telling you, when I saw the throwback pics of her with Kels, she looked like a doggone Aaliyah, but white. Did y'all see the woman? She had blonde braids in her hair. She looked like she had a tank top. She looked like the black Aaliyah. I mean, the white Aaliyah. I'm telling you. And I'm like, okay. You coming out here trying to make us believe that R. Kelly ain't did nothing wrong to nobody? Girl, sat down somewhere. But her and her sister, they did a campaign for R. Kelly. So her and her sister Jen, while everybody else was doing hashtag Me Too and hashtag Mute Kelly, and they was doing hashtag Unmute Kelly instead of and then everybody else was doing like hashtag Surviving R. Kelly. They doing hashtag Surviving the Lies. And so when the Facebook page came out, like literally hours after season 1 of Lifetime, when that season 1 of Surviving R. Kelly came out, they did like immediately hours. I'm not saying them because they claim they didn't have nothing to do with it. But they did start a lot of the hashtag movements and a lot of, they did do that. They admitted that, and they did admit that they fully support him. And they fully support that page that was created called Surviving the Lies. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember it was on Facebook? Remember they was posting all these pictures. They was posting mug shots of some of the victims who were arrested, years ago. There's videos of the victims, and acts and everything. They was all that on this page. Eventually it was taken down though. Eventually the page was reported. Facebook took the page down. I remember that page because I remember going to it and I remember seeing certain things, and then like immediately it wasn't there anymore. So again, the sisters claim they didn't have nothing to do with it, but they also claim that no, he didn't never do anything, and we would never believe any of the accusations, and they fully support him. And one of the sisters, the main one that they were talking to, Lindsay, she claimed that the reason why a lot of the women in the documentary were picked by Kels was that they were his type. Like they were the type of women that we would have picked, or the young girls that he would have picked. But the only reason they are upset is because he didn't turn them into stars. They didn't get the limelight that they wanted, that they expected for messing around with Kels until they did the Lifetime show. I thought that was really, really, really foul, what she said. And again, if you see some of the pictures of the throwback pics, how cozy they seemed and how I'm telling you, man, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get that picture and I'm going to post it, because I'm like, why did this white lady remind me of Aaliyah? A young girl. Now, she claimed that she started working for him in 99. But if you look at this white lady, She looks like a young girl. She might have been a woman, but she looked like a young girl. So anyway, y'all just think on that. I'm gonna just let that sit right there. Let that sit right there. But again, they said they had nothing to do with that page that was on Facebook, and it eventually got shut down. But a lot of the women, the parents and a lot of the survivors, they're still getting threatened. This part two, there's still threats out there. Geronda Pace, she was even threatened by, and a lot of them are being threatened by R. Kelly supporters. Like Geronda Pace was talking about how the one that I, did some videos on a couple of years ago. She was saying how she was in the mall one time and people noticed her and was like, "Oh, you're the one who made those false allegations. You're the one who was with Kit. You're the one." And they recognized her and they threatened to beat her up on site. So she had to hurry up and dip with her two little girls and hurry up and get to her car and vacate the premises because she was scared what was going to happen to her in front of her daughters. And God forbid hopefully they wouldn't have thought about doing something to her daughters. But still, if you're willing to whip on somebody and their child is there, regardless if you believe them or if you think they really lying or not and their children are right there, that's really low. And that's really low. But also a lot of people there, he still got some supporters. He still got some supporters now. He still got people who still listen to his music, still buy his music. Because the thing about it is when he was dropped from RCA, they dropped him. They don't want him on a label anymore, but they still making coins off of it. They still making coinage. His records are still, if you want to buy one today, you still can go buy it. They still, being sold, but he's not on the label so that they won't make anything new. They can't create anything new, with him. But the people in the label, they dropped him. But people who support him, they still able to purchase, Kel CDs. A lot of people, even friends that I know, have actually muted R. Kelly. And I said the other day, well, actually, it was about a week ago. I had said on one of my shows on here about a week ago that I can't say I officially muted him. Like, if I was at your crib and you happen to be playing Step in the Name of Love, or you remind me of my Jeep, or, any of those popular songs from way back in the Honey Love. Whew, that used to be one of my favorites too. But if you happen to be playing any of that stuff, I'm not going to be like, turn it off or I'm leaving. I need to go to another room because I don't want to hear this. I'm like trying to echo it out. Let me go sit in my car till y'all play something else. I ain't at that point like some people are, but I'm not out here actively purchasing his music. I still got music from way back in the day. I got CDs all the way from back to the 80s, like all kind of CDs. And I still got them. I can't say that I take out his and listen to it. No, I don't do that. And a lot of the radio stations, I can't remember the last time. Now I live in Omaha, Nebraska, where Black people do live. We do live here. And there's more than just me and my family. Okay. And that might be crazy to some of y'all, but some people still be like, Black folks live in Nebraska. What they doing up in Nebraska? But anyway, I don't like play it regularly or anything like that. I don't purchase it anymore. And on the radio, I have series in my truck, and I don't even recall the last time I heard them play music on the radio. And I know a lot of people, a lot of, not record companies, but a lot of DJs and radio stations have muted, Kills. They have muted him. I can't say that is necessarily because of, like, who was they talking to? They was talking to Angela Yee. They were talking to Angela Yee in this season 1 episode. And Angela Yee, she was, voicing her opinions about everything that's been going on with R. Kelly over the years. And she was one of the people, one of the celebrities. And she ain't no huge celebrity, but a lot of people know her from the Breakfast Club. And she was voicing her opinion about, a lot of radio stations aren't playing him because they think that a lot of people involved with him, like his managers, his record company, his tour managers, his everybody, his whole entourage, his security guards, his stylist, his his barber, everybody basically let this happen. Because none of this would, R. Kelly wouldn't have still been able to be in the business. He wouldn't have still been able to make music, travel all over the world, have these girls flown in and out from, where he lived, from his estate back home, being able to take care of all these women in his home. He would have never had the resources to do any of that if people weren't enabling him, if people in his circle wasn't enabling him. That goes from his brothers, that goes to his entourage, to his camp, a lot of other celebrities too. But still yet, we don't see any charges being brought against anybody else in his entourage or in his camp. Everything's still focused on him right now. Although I think that will change. I really do think that will change. I think once Kels realize how much time he could possibly get, like when it gets down to the nitty gritty, I think that's when he's going to talk. Because why that pretty, well, he ain't as pretty as he used to. He ain't as cute as you know what I'm saying? He ain't all that like he used to be. But he's still in that prison full of wolves. I'm sure he looked darn good to a lot of people up in there. And him surviving years in there without being, having things done to him that he's done to other people. Like unwillingly. People doing stuff to people who weren't willing, or people who were too young, or taking advantage of people, intimidating people, things like that. He's not going to go years without that not happen to him repeatedly. So I think eventually, y'all let me know how y'all feel though, but I think eventually he will start talking and he will start throwing names. He has nothing to lose. Even if he go back home, he don't have no money. Ain't nobody signing him on no record deal. Now he could, do an old school thing like No Limit, Master P, or some of them, and start selling stuff out of his truck. He could do that. But then again, it's like a nation divided on this. A lot of people still support him, but a lot of people can't stand him. So he'll never be as rich and famous as he used to be when he was out there, being enabled by a lot of people and being able to do what he did, until more of these videotapes started coming out and all these extra allegations started to come out, and these documentaries from Lifetime started to come out. So that's what I want to say about Angela Yee. A lot of the DJs, they ain't feeling him anymore. They ain't feeling his music. When the last time you heard R. Kelly being played on your radio, whether it was local or whether it was on Sirius radio? Even when I listen to like the Heart and Soul, or the Slow Jam, those stations like that, I cannot remember the last time I've heard an R. Kelly track on anything. So I do believe a lot of people, at least a lot of people in America, has muted R. Kelly. But y'all let me know. Have y'all muted him? Do y'all care? Because I know some people care enough to they're like, okay, I hate what he did. I know what he did. I know he did it. I know without a shadow of a doubt that he's done all these horrible things to people, to young women, to young ladies, to girls. I know he's done it. But I still love his music, so y'all can say whatever, and that's still my, and I'm still gonna listen to his music. Where are y'all at on that? Do y'all believe he's guilty, or do some of y'all still believe he's innocent? Do y'all believe he's guilty and still listen to his music and bet not nobody put a finger on your R. Kelly tracks, you might cut them. They might rush over, but they might rush back missing a nub, right? Or do y'all believe that he is guilty and y'all also got rid of all his records? So, some people believe he's guilty and keeping his records. Some people believe he's guilty and they tossed out his records. So, and it's a personal choice. I would never judge anybody because, again, I have not muted R. Kelly. I don't like play his music. I don't like go somewhere and be like, oh, put on Kales, at the club or up to my house. I ain't doing none of that. But I have not yet thrown away all my art. And I got all of them. All the way back. So that's why I say I would never judge anybody if they, still listen to his music or anything like that, just purpose. The main purpose of us, speaking about this, the victims, survivors, I should say, speaking about this, Lifetime Network, still speaking about this. I have to give my props to, before I wrap this up, I got about 17 more minutes, but I think I'll be done before then. Before I wrap this up, I just want to say I give my props to Lifetime Movie Network because they was like, what? You trying to threaten us? You trying to threaten the producers, the writers, the network? Man, boy, bye. They was like, bye, Felicia. They did a whole season 1. They did a whole season 2. And on the way is a whole season 3. So I want to give my props to Lifetime Movie Network because some channels probably would have been, we ain't going to touch that. We ain't going to touch that. Wasting all these ladies' time, listening to all their stories and everything and following them around and getting that, and then like, because when they had that premiere in New York, and when they premiered the first season, Surviving R. Kelly, and when they were receiving threats at the theater, when they was receiving threats and everybody had to run out, everybody had to move expeditiously. People was being threatened. They was getting phone calls at their hotel. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. They still put the documentary out there, even after all those threats. And again, they're now on season 2, and season 3 will be coming up pretty soon. And I have to give my props to these ladies. I know they're scared. Sometime, if not more often. I know that they receive threats. I know they've been slandered. I know they done had pictures and videos of them with Kels and all kind of stuff put on social media. I know their parents have been threatened and their children. Like one of the people who work on the Lifetime Movie Network, he had his front windows busted out after it premiered. He had people calling him saying, we know how old your child is. We know your child's name. I mean, a lot of these people in this project, from the survivors on up, a lot of them has been threatened and they still moving forward. And, my heart goes out to that one, the one who started having seizures after, all this, has started. After she was being threatened and after, her pictures got put out and, she has started having seizures. She has started to go to a counselor, because she got depressed. And then her parents, was pastors, and she felt like an embarrassment to her family, to her community, to her church. And I'm like, I get, where she's coming from. Where it's like, when you have a pastor like her, it's different when like a lot of y'all know that my mother was really strict when I was growing up. She was a preacher for a little while. She wasn't ever a pastor, but she was a preacher. She had her license, everything. She used to preach and all that. But she, from the time I was probably 3 or 4 years old, we had a strict upbringing, going to church 12 days a week. All night. I mean, on the weekends. Revival after revival. Tent revivals in the summer, all summer long. Not kid not having a summer like a kid should have. I mean, it was really strict. Reading the Bible, we had to pray, read the Bible, all that kind of stuff. And so I know if my mother had told me, don't, like her father, who's a pastor, don't call that man. He slipped you his phone number at the concert, but don't call that man. And she was like, oh, daddy, I ain't gonna call. He too old. He your age. I ain't, no, that ain't me. I ain't gonna talk to him, whatever. And then she goes behind his back and does it anyway. So she felt like she not only embarrassed her father, but embarrassed their church, embarrassed their community. So she started to get really, really depressed. It's amazing how she didn't like turn to drugs or something like that, because she started having seizures, being sick, and dealing with this embarrassment on social media. I'm trying to wrap this up real quick, you guys. So I'm up here stuttering on my words. But being embarrassed on social media, and her father, her father, who's a pastor, and her mother, they still love her. They think that she's strong. They think that she's courageous. They're proud of her. And I like how they keep her motivated by doing that. Because a lot of family members, pastors and preachers, and I mean, they would have been like, what, child? We raised you to do this, not to do that. So, they might shun their children or shun their family members. We talked about the crazy Christians the other day in one of these videos, and how the crazy Christians, matter of fact, that was on my review of Power. The new season has started last Sunday, and so I did a review on the new season, episode 1. If y'all missed it, make sure you go back and look for it. Power, episode 1 premiere. I did that a few days ago, and we talked about the crazy Christians, like Dre's mother in the TV show, and the crazy Christians who real strict, and every time you do something, if you cross the street without crossing at the crossroad, oh, they gonna condemn you to hell, fire and brimstone. And so, like, a lot of parents are like that. And so the fact that they're not shunning her, and they're supporting her, and they're doing everything to protect her, put her in counseling, whatever it takes, so they can get their daughter back to where she used to be, because she's not where she used to be. She claims she doesn't love herself anymore. She, low self-esteem, all these things, that happen when you realize that somebody took advantage of you, and then they threaten you to keep you hushed. Anyway, I give my props to the whole Lifetime Movie Network and all the victims turned survivors of R. Kelly. And you guys, this about sums up my review on episode 1 of season 2. Season 2 is called The Reckoning. The episode was called It Hasn't Stopped. And again, when they said it hasn't stopped, as far as the title of the first episode, I think they're kind of referring to R. Kelly hasn't stopped trying to manipulate and intimidate people, with people still out here being threatened. So that's what I take from that title. But anyway, if y'all feel some other way about the title, It Hasn't Stopped, please let me know. If y'all feel, let me know about your opinions on the first episode. Again, all we did talk about was the first episode today. So for y'all who hasn't seen the second through the fifth episodes, there are no spoilers here for the second through the fifth episode. Tomorrow, though, we will talk about episode 2. So if y'all are not caught up, at least watch episode 1 and episode 2, because tomorrow night we're going to talk about episode 2. Then Friday we're going to do episode 3, and then Saturday we're going to do episode 4, Sunday episode 5. So I'm gonna do one episode per day. And again tonight, I'll be back tonight, probably around, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm gonna do a review on the haves and the haves not, because the new season did start the other day in episode 1. We're gonna discuss that tonight on the have and have not. So if you are a fan of the have and have nots, and missed the first episode to this season, please go to On Demand or the computer or wherever and watch that, because we're going to be talking about that tonight. So in the meantime and in between time, to my Hood Table squad and my Prime TV squad, make sure you like the video, share the video. I have 3 channels altogether: the Hood Table, Tanya's Primetime TV. Sorry, I'm a little stuffed up and I don't know what I did with my cup of water. But anyway, the Hood Table channel, Tanya's Primetime TV, media reviews, and Tanya's Delight Slice by Slice. That last channel is my cake decorating channel. I do live cake decorating on that channel. So please make sure you are subscribed to all 3 channels, because I do go live and I do upload on all 3 channels: the Hood Table, Tanya's Primetime TV media reviews, and Tanya's Delight Slice by Slice. I do lives and uploads on each channel. So please make sure you support all 3 channels, subscribe to all 3 channels, hit the notification bell to all 3 channels. And on Facebook, on my Tanya's Delight Slice by Slice Facebook page, you can go on there. You can see hundreds of pictures of my creative cake art. Tanya's Primetime TV is on Facebook. The Hood Table is on Facebook. And they're all on IG as well. So you can follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and IG on all 3 channels. So I want to thank everybody who is supporting all 3 channels already. And I want to give a thanks to everybody who is supporting the Hood Table, which is my newest channel. So with that being said, everybody stay safe. Be blessed. I'm about to get out of here and handle my business, and I shall return tonight to review Have and Have Nots, the new episode that came on the other day. So I'm out. Deuces.